You wrote a couple of articles. Andrew Berry places a high value on Greg Newsome, and Greg Newsome ignores all the trade rumors, reiterates his desire to stay. Take us through those, and then I have a theory that I want to throw at you coming up after you're done with that.
Okay. Yeah, we went to talk to Newsome at an event. He went to watch a girls' flag football practice at Berea Mid Park. And he said he's gotten good at ignoring the noise, right? That he doesn't focus on it, but his family and friends will say, so, hey, you're mentioning these trade rumors. He ignores it. He says, I know what my value is. He goes, I think the Browns know what my value is. He goes, I said it from day one. I want to play my whole career with one team. That means the Browns. So he's not looking to move, right? And I think he's way more comfortable and content and settled than he was coming off of 2022, right? He didn't like how Joe Woods used him. He liked better how Jim Schwartz, even though he still played a bunch in the slot, there's more man-to-man, there's more coverage responsibilities than, the quasi linebacker that he thought Joe Woods was kind of misusing him in that way in 2022. And then Andrew Berry, it's like we talked about. You can't stress enough the importance of corner. Now, could the Browns make it work without Greg Newsome? Maybe, right? They drafted Cameron Mitchell last year. He played well when he was called upon. He's a 4th or 5th round pick. I don't know if it's fair to say that he could step in for Greg Newsome. Maybe they draft a guy high this year just because it's such an important position. But, if you have the number one defense, if you have Super Bowl aspirations, if you have what Denzel Ward said was the top cornerback group in the league, it just doesn't make sense to try to give one of those guys away, right? You'd have to be kind of knocked off your feet, and I think that's what Andrew Berry's waiting for, and I just don't think that offer is going to come.
So I think they're going to try to find a way to keep him even long term, just because they need, and Andrew Berry said it, they need 3 corners because the league goes to 3 wides. It's even more important because of the press man coverage. Jim Schwartz wants to create chaos at the line of scrimmage. You can't do that unless you have 3 guys that can play man-to-man coverage at a high level. I think they're going to try to find a way to pay him. Now, the concerning thing is Drew Rosenhaus is now his agent. That concerns me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I get everything you're saying, and it makes complete sense. The only thing I struggle with is, you're paying Denzel Ward $20 million, right? Ballpark. Let's say you have to play Greg Newsome 15 at least. Martin Emerson's coming up, so then he'd be 15. Can you pay $50 million for your 3 corners? Maybe you can. Maybe they can make it work, and if they can, then yeah, I'm with you. But that's the concern I have. I would also say, they've shown, at least at this point, that they can draft corners, so maybe they're confident that, hey, if they have to let Newsome go, they can find a replacement. But you're right about his importance. He can play inside and out. And that's a tough skill. Denzel Ward does not do that very often. I don't think Martin Emerson can play inside on a consistent basis. And I mentioned Cam Mitchell earlier. He can play in the slot. I don't know if he can play outside, right? So Newsome's almost a 2-for-1 guy for you.
Yeah, and the other thing is Denzel Ward you're always concerned concussion-wise with Denzel Ward. He's had a number of them, and that, I know it's football, but that's something. Concussions are something that you don't mess with.